The path to wealth has always been the millionaire next door. It's be frugal, save your money, invest it, and eventually you can buy your own white picket fence and go on vacation and get a nice car. But have the rules to wealth changed? Are we still playing the same game in 2025? And does the new millionaire next door look nothing like the old one? That is the question that we're exploring in this essay, and I want to walk you through the data on why times have in fact changed in the new path to wealth. It's going to be a good one, so sit down, get yourself caffeinated, and let's go. Okay, now before we continue, I want to tell you about something that actually impacts my day-to-day life, and that is the chair that I'm sitting in right now. Now, I spend a lot of hours every day right here, writing scripts in meetings, just doing everything that's required to run a business like many of you. And this doesn't feel great on the body, and I find myself getting up to stretch to avoid an ache in my lower back or just to prevent my posture from getting worse over time. And so when I looked online for ergonomic chairs a while back, you're talking like $1,500 at least for something like the Herman Miller lines, which is a lot I find for a home office setup. And that was when HBADA reached out about their E3 Pro. So HBADA has been making ergonomic furniture for over 15 years, so since 2008, and they export to over 30 countries and have won design awards in England and France. So this isn't just some random brand, this is a true global powerhouse in the space. Now the E3 Pro is at its best value during Black Friday, which is just around the corner, with a final price around just $400 US. So less than half the price of a Herman Miller, but it even has features that a lot of those common alternatives don't have for over double the price. And I've been using it for a bit of time now, so let me tell you what matters to me as a user about it. So first and most importantly, in my opinion, this is the world's first ergonomic lumbar support with quote unquote floating wings that rotate 40 degrees internally and externally. And I do mean world's first. We're talking a 3-zone waist protection patent filed specifically for this kind of support. What that means in practice is that regardless of what position I'm sitting in, whether I'm leaning forward to edit, I'm sitting upright in a meeting, or leaning back while watching a video, the lumbar support wraps itself around my waist constantly. So that means no lower back tightness or pain, and adjustment front to back or up to down. So it actually fits your body instead of being a one-size-fits-all. Now, second, the headrest here is 4D adjustable, so it goes up and down, it rotates 70 degrees, and it adjusts front to back. Now, the surface is curved, so whether I'm leaning forward to look at my timeline or recording during a phone call, it does actually support my neck. Now, third, the armrests are 60 adjustable, so front and back, up and down, left and right, rotatable, and they fold up. Now this matters because when I'm editing, for example, my arms are in a different position than when I'm typing a script. So being able to adjust the armrests precisely means that my shoulders don't get stressed or tired after hours of being in the same position. And finally, the mesh. Genuinely, this chair just feels awesome to sit in. The backrest and seat are both made of a breathable mesh, so after sitting for hours, you're not sweating or feeling numb. Plus, it reclines to 140 degrees and has a built-in footrest, so one could theoretically power nap in this thing. Now, all that makes this chair currently hold the world record for the most adjustable ergonomic chair with up to 22 total adjustment options. So if you're a creator, a remote worker, or a gamer, or you just sit a lot, and to be honest, that is all of us nowadays, then this is a serious and awesome option that your body will love to level up your workspace, and it won't destroy your budget. And it's been a bestseller in Germany, France, Spain, the UK, the US, Japan, and China for 3 years running. Also, HBADA's X7 is the first ever ergonomic chair to apply AI technology, which is epic to see and a great addition. With that in mind, right now you can use this code to claim an exclusive discount on the HBADA E3 Pro. Now they offer a 3-year warranty, 30-day free returns, and free shipping, so there is basically no risk to go and try this for your workspace. So go check it out, that's at the link in the description, and again, trust me, your body will thank you for this. And that in mind, let's get back to the video. And so in 1996, that book, The Millionaire Next Door, was published, and maybe you've read it, maybe you haven't, but what it said is that the average millionaire wasn't a doctor or a lawyer in a mansion. It's just a frugal teacher or a plumber or a small business owner who lived below their means and invested over a long period of time. And that has been the gospel for 30 years, which is that frugality is more important than income. Even if you don't make a lot of money, you can be frugal, you can save your money, you can invest it, and that is the key and the path to long run wealth. Again, there's a lot of data nowadays that says, hey, maybe that formula doesn't work. And that's the data that we're going to explore here. And so I want to start with the 1996 formula. So in 1996, the median US home price was about $117,000, and the median income was about $35,000 a year, so about a 3.3x home price to income ratio. And if you only need 20% down on a home, that means if you really save your money for a year, maybe 2 years, you can get yourself a house. And so the millionaire next door kind of formula is just to live on 7% or so of your income, right? Don't buy a new car, stick with your used suit for 10 years. Just aggressively save 20, 30+% of your overall income, even if that is a median or a lower range income. And so that principle of live below your means is timeless, right? That's personal finance in a nutshell. But what about the other side of it? So nowadays, the median US home price is $435,000, and the median income is about $78,000. So a home on average is 5.5 years of income. And also taxes have gone up and interest rates are higher. What that means is if you want to buy a home, you need a lot more savings over a much longer period of time to start building equity in your home. And even if you do start building equity, you're going to build much less of it because interest rates are higher. And so since 2000, most of the median kind of millionaire next door kind of jobs have had their wages stagnate or barely keep up with inflation. While in that time, the S&P 500 has grown by over 350% and housing has increased in price by over 250%. And so that's the core problem. How do you save your way into assets when the cost of assets is growing by 5 times the rate of your ability to save? Now that doesn't mean that it's impossible at all to become wealthy nowadays, right? In fact, 88% of new millionaires are completely self-made. The problem is just the barrier to entry here is harder. But that said, I think the path to wealth has evolved over time. And I'm going to make 2 arguments about the new path to wealth nowadays in 2025. And there are 2 parts to that. The first is you need to pursue a more aggressive asset acquisition or just return portfolio. And number 2, you should focus on income vastly more than saving. So basically what that means on one side of things, don't save your money through bonds. Go buy stocks, go buy real estate, pursue return with the money that you do have. And then also on the other side, frugality matters much less than just raising your income. And since 1996, the world has democratized opportunity in a sense. If you just put the next year, 3 years, 5 years into raising your income or your ability to generate money, and let's say you're 22 right now, getting yourself on that higher income path is going to be vastly superior to just trying to save an extra 5 or 10% a year on a medium income. It's just that cold start problem. Once you're in the game, once you have a few $100,000 in stocks or in real estate, right, then you can breathe. Then your assets will increase over time and you're kind of hedged against just always being priced out of everything. But you need money to do that to start. And so that's why, again, I'm saying focus more on raising income as opposed to reducing expenses. And again, living below your means is timeless advice. Always do that. Always spend reasonably. But spending reasonably nowadays on a $40,000 a year income and that being your path to wealth is going to put you in a worse situation long-term versus getting that $40,000 up to $80,000 and then even saving just half as much money on a percentile basis as you used to. And the name of the game, the core of this is just get yourself in assets. Once you have the foot in the door of assets, then you are hedged against both sides of this. And so if I had to summarize this whole concept, it's the idea of saving your way to becoming a millionaire versus earning your way to becoming a millionaire. Both are valid options and you do need both of them, but what's the distribution there? Which one do you focus on consciously? And it's less so one or the other versus a ratio here. And so maybe that ratio has changed a little bit. So let me know if you agree either way on this. And that said, I appreciate you being here. I'll see you in the next one.